Mr. Gandhi, my last question to you in the course of this interaction is this. Your father was forced into politics by circumstances. He was, in your case as well, when you said power is poison and you spoke about how your mother, Miss Sonia Gandhi, came and she cried. If I put that together with some of what you've said, it can reinforce the image of a reluctant prince. And this is not my phrase. I'm sure you've heard this phrase used against you or to describe you a number of times. Therefore, Mr. Gandhi, the last question is this. Had you not been a Gandhi, would you have been in politics at all?
If you look at my spirit, regardless of what I do, if I had been born in India, regardless of what I do, I don't like unfairness. It just makes my blood boil. I don't like it. And in whatever I did, if I saw unfairness, I would stand up against it. That's the heart of my politics. What I see. Would
you have been in? My question was, if you were not a Gandhi, would you be in politics? Some say this is a circumstance thrust on you, Mr. Gandhi. You're thrust in this situation. You're trying to justify to yourself that you need to do it. But heart of heart, are you a politician? And had you not been a Gandhi, would you have been in politics at all?
Maybe you find me strange because...
No, I don't find you strange.
Well, you sort of implied that, but maybe you find me... I look like an anomaly in the environment I'm in. Maybe that's what you're saying. And frankly, in a lot of ways, I am an anomaly in the environment I'm in. The power is poison remark.
Yes.
And I tell this to my sister.
Yes.
And I tell it to my mother, and my mother tells it to me. I don't get driven by the desire for power. I'm just not driven by it. For me, power is an instrument that can be used to do certain things. But for me, it's not interesting to own it, to capture it, to hold it. This is just something... maybe it's because of my family circumstances, what happened in my family. Power per se, the quest for power, the search for power, the thirst for power, is not there in me. What is there in me is a desire, is a very strong desire to reduce the pain that people feel. To reduce the pain that people feel as a result of a system that is predatory. As a result of a system that need not be there. As a result of the system that can actually be changed if we just start to ask the deeper questions and we stop asking the superficial questions. Again, and maybe the 7th time I want to repeat it to you, what are those deeper questions? The deeper question is, why is power so concentrated in this country? Why is it that a chief minister of a state has access to any decision in the entire state? Why is it that our candidates are chosen in closed rooms? Why is it that our people do not have access to the candidate decision? Why is it that our policy is made in closed doors with 5 or 6 people? Why is it that the perspective of one minister is completely different than the perspective of the gentleman who follows him? What that's telling me is that we're not actually taking the voice of the people into policy. We're not actually taking the voice of the people into the political system. You said about Aam Aadmi Party, and you said, well, you criticize them and then you praise them.
Yes, you did.
I liked what I saw as far as the representation, bringing in people. I thought that was an interesting concept. We've done that type of stuff in the Youth Congress. That was interesting to me.
Is it bringing in people when you disregard the legal process and sit on a protest outside Rail Bhavan, and then also that you force your decision and your minister is always right? You avoided my question on the Aam Aadmi Party. I'm glad you've come to it. Tell me, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, were you angry with Sushilkumar Shinde giving a face saver to Arvind Kejriwal? This was reported. Before I wrap, I didn't mean to go back to it. You brought it back. The accusation is that you're still doing deals with the Aam Aadmi Party.
What I liked about what I saw in the Aam Aadmi was people coming into their system. I like that. But what's different then between us and them is that we have structure. We develop processes. That I didn't see much of. But the main thing that...
No, were you upset with Mr. Sushilkumar Shinde for giving the Delhi government a way out during the recent dharna? Do you feel they should have been offered a face saver? Do you feel they should have been ordered a face saver?
You're going back, Arnab,
to specifics.
No, it's not specifics. It's frankly superficialities.
How is this superficial?
It's a completely
This is the most relevant question.
No, it's not. It's whether Mr. Shinde thought he should have apologized, shouldn't have apologized, did this, did that, it's a fact, it happened. But the real issue, the real core issues in this election are we going to head towards democracy, towards deepening of democracy, towards opening up the system, or are we going to head towards concentration of power? That's the first question.
Yeah.
The second question is, are we going to head towards empowerment of women? Are we going to be a half strong nation, be a half proud nation, or are we going to actually empower women? Those are the questions. And those questions, if you listen to the debate that's going on about the elections, that's not the debate. There's nothing in the debate about how we're going to move forward on the RTI paradigm, how we're going to move forward on the corruption paradigm. There's nothing in the debate about funding of political parties. There's nothing in the debate about how we are going to choose candidates. There's nothing in the debate about how policy should be made. These are fundamental things. These are the things that actually have an impact.
But you're avoiding the debate. Will you have a debate with Narendra Modi if he agrees to a debate on any of these issues? My question to you is direct. If Narendra Modi says, I'm willing to debate these issues,
I'm debating these issues by building structure in the Congress party that's going to transform.
Why should there not be a debate between the key political party candidates on all sides? Let them talk. Have a conversation.
You're more than welcome. You have to start that debate. As far as I'm concerned, the debate is taking place.
I'm willing to start the debate. Are you ready for it? Then I can go and ask Mr. Modi if he's ready for it.
You start the debate, but the real issue is doing this stuff. The real issue is doing this stuff in the party machine. The only people who are doing that is us. And frankly, we get stick for it. We've just said that 15 constituencies in this country, in the Congress party, are going to be chosen based on primaries. I haven't said a word about it.
Well, of course, it's been mentioned everywhere. It's not impressed many people.
But the discussion hasn't gone there. So all I'm saying is that as youngsters, as serious politicians, one has to ask the fundamental questions. The fundamental questions in this election is, are we going to open up the system? Are we going to close the system? What is going to be the role of women in India going forward? How are we going to get jobs for youngsters in this country? You asked me a whole bunch of questions.
Yes, I did.
You didn't ask me once about how we're going to get jobs for youngsters in this country. You didn't ask me once about what are we going to do for women in this country. I'm going to tell you what I think.
But Mr. Rahul Gandhi, if I was to do that, I would listen to Rahul Gandhi's speech. As I said, this is an interview. I'm getting an opportunity to ask you specific questions. You call my specific questions superficial. I, with respect, disagree. I feel my questions are specific, and you need to answer the specific questions as specifically as possible.
You are more than welcome to ask these questions, right? But let's also move the debate to a place where we're actually reaching towards fundamentals, right? What should be the role of women in this country? How can we enhance their role? How do we bring jobs to millions of people? Now, for example, every single person who comes to me from abroad, Japan, France, Germany, America, every single person comes to me and says, listen, we need an alternative to Chinese manufacturing. We're very happy with what the Chinese give us, but we need another pole.
Yes.
There's global energy that is basically saying, we want to move manufacturing to India. The Congress party, UPA government has built the corridors, has built the north-south, east-west corridor. We built 3 times the roads the NDA built. Why are we not having a discussion about those
certainly,
categories?
Probably the reason is, and I asked you the question in the course of the interview, I asked you, did UPA 2 let you down? Because Mr. Rahul Gandhi, when foreign investors want to invest in India, they want a clean investing environment. They do not want crony capitalism. They do not need scams. They do not need ministers who behave that, the government exists on their rent. They do not need the A Rajas, and they certainly do not need the Aircel Maxis scams. The climate, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, has got vitiated with corruption. And therefore, the answer to that is, and I really want you to address this very clearly. If you had spoken out earlier, today, and let's bring this interview to a finality, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, if you had spoken on these issues earlier, perhaps today we would not be in a situation where India would not be the preferred investment destination.
Actually,
you get my point.
Yeah, I get your point. Actually, the RTI, right, has basically changed the game in India. What it has done is it has opened up the structures. And what used to be hidden can no longer be hidden. That's the bottom line. Okay. The bottom line is that large numbers of corruption issues that were hidden, that nobody would find out about, came out because of the RTI. We did that. Now, please go to our opposition states. Please go to the states and ask them, do they have their RTI commissioners? The issue here is very simple. The issue is, do you want an open system? Do you want a system where these things are out in the open? Or do you want a closed system where these things are hidden?
I think we should have a debate.
No, I
think we should have a debate on this.
The debate is taking place right now.
The debate has to take place between the individuals. My final question, Mr. Gandhi, will you be open to a debate between key candidates or representatives of the major parties? Will you participate in such a debate if there were to be one?
There is a national debate taking place right now. Okay? The national debate that is taking place right now is the following. There is the Congress party that believes in openness, that believes in RTI, that believes in Panchayati Raj, that believes in giving people power. And there is our opposition that believes in concentrating power. That's the debate that's taking place. That's what the election's about. We fundamentally believe, and the Congress party has always believed, that this country has to be run by its people.
Can you take back this election? Have you lost the election before it's begun? Most of the surveys are saying the Congress party will be reduced to its lowest ever tally. What would you say to that, Mr. Gandhi?
This country has always been run successfully when large numbers of people were involved in its decision making. If you look at when this country has done well, it has done well when we've involved.
You know what Modi says to that? Modi says, you gave them 60 years, you give me 60 months. I want you to respond to that before. He says, you gave the Congress party 60 years, you give me 60 months. He said that in UP when he spoke in Gorakhpur recently. I want your response to that.
My response is that over the last 10 years, we gave the fastest economic growth this country's ever had. My response is that we did more for opening up the system in this country than any government before us. My response is that we have completely changed the paradigm with our rights-based development model. We have given Manrega, which has transformed the rural economy. We have carried out, we are talking about Aadhaar, which is going to directly give money to people. So to just brush aside the idea that the Congress party has been in power for 6 years, we are growing at the rate at which we are growing because of the Congress party.
Are you battle ready?
Battle ready, of course. We're going to win.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi, thank you very much for talking to me and for taking specific questions from me.
Thank you.
On Frankly Speaking. Thank you.